let me know why you think your emails are going to the spam folder. List them out in the comments or in the chat or wherever you're watching this. Let me know. Why do you think your emails are going to the spam folder? Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining BBI Consultants. Here we are a digital branding agency. Let's get this thing started. But first, who am I? My name is Brianna. I am a creative solutionist. I am also the founder of BBI Consultants. And I'm not going to give you my whole resume. But if you're interested in learning more about me and why I do what I do and how I came to be, you can check out the website. You're probably wondering what you're doing here. Well, we're here to talk about emails, and in particular, why your emails are going to the spam folder. Well, they're going because you probably didn't send a warm-up email campaign. And you're probably thinking, what is a warm-up email campaign? What does that have to do with anything? Well, like Oscar, you can't just eat the cookies. You have to prepare it. Sometimes you have to go to the store. You have to go purchase the ingredients. You got to drive home. You got to unload all the groceries. You got to preheat the oven. You got to let them rest or else they're just going to fall apart. And then finally, it's cookie time. You can eat. That's what you have to do when it comes to warm-up email campaigns. I know you want to send out all of this great information to your audience. I know you want to do it, but you can't do it because you're just going to be sending your emails to the spam folder. Before you start to interact with your audience, you have to briefly engage with them. And I'm going to tell you how to do that. Before we get into that, I just want to tell you that I have an ebook. It's called The Ultimate Guide, Highly Effective Email Marketing for Small Businesses. You can visit this website, bit.ly -49VNSD6 to download the free guide. What is a warm-up email campaign? Well, basically, it's an email that is used to gradually build trust and engagement with your email subscribers and showcase that you're a brand that provides value. You're going to introduce them to who you are as a brand, and you're going to start building a relationship with them. You're training the email system to know that this email is legitimate. It's not a spam email. It's consistent, and your audience is continuing to grow. People are opening, they're interacting. This is a legitimate email. This is a legitimate email that is being sent out by a legitimate company. Therefore, we are not going to send it to spam. So that is the purpose of a warm-up email. So it's a twofold sort of system. We're going to talk about why warm-up emails are important. Well, number one, they build trust. Trust is important in this day and age. So many companies take advantage of it, and you really want to differentiate your company and let your audience know that you are trustworthy. The information that you are telling them is important. And you're also improving your deliverability. As I mentioned, there's a twofold approach to warm-up email campaigns. Number one, you're dealing with the front end, your audience. Number two, you're training in the back end of it. It really increases engagement. So warm-up emails, again, you're giving information about the company, about you. It's going to be important information. It's a way to keep your audience engaged and really letting them know about who you are and an entry to how that relationship is going to be, how you're going to be cultivating your community. And then letting them know about future emails and upcoming events that might be happening. Again, you're not getting into the sell, just like who you are, what you're going to provide to them, the value add. It also sets expectations. So again, it's how you communicate. It's the tone in which you're communicating with them. It's to let them know that, hey, I'm your friend. Feel free to trust me. This is what you'll get. You really want to just break down the content and make it brief content. Again, these are meant to be short and sweet and really just a light touch. The ideal timeline. So yeah, okay, I'm sold on this warm-up campaign, and I know I can't just go right in and eat these cookies. I need to do it at a gradual pace. What is that gradual pace? Well, An email campaign can vary, but what I'm recommending here is a 4-week email campaign. Week 1 is really that introduction and brand awareness. So you're going to be sending 2 emails this week. One is just a very brief introductory email about who you are. Within that first week, the third day, you're going to send another email. And again, you're going to also increase the amount of emails that you're sending. So let's say you send 5 emails day 1, you're going to send 10 emails day 3. Day 3 is just a follow-up email. You're going to say, hey, I'm just checking. I would love to validate to make sure that, we're sending the content that you want to receive. So you can even ask them to respond back, with specific categories that they're interested in. Maybe it takes them to a form and they fill back. And then you also get a double validation where, they can again confirm that they want to receive emails, or you can direct them to like this, send them to a blog post, a guide, or a free ebook to download, a value add that would be helpful to them and that's relevant to them for them to then open and engage and interact with this email. The second week is all about engagement and relationship building. So the first day of the second week, you're going to send a personal story, a customer success story, or a case study that really aligns with your brand's value. Day 10, you're going to be sending an invitation to connect with you via social media, ask them to participate in a quiz or a survey, or again, really wanting to know in-depth information on what they can get out of this relationship. They want to explore who you are on social media. Maybe send them to a video that you've just conducted on YouTube. Maybe on this 10th day, you're going live and you really want them to take a look at this information. So the third week is providing more value. Offer an exclusive content. So let's say you have an upcoming webinar or you have a campaign that you're promoting, something, a free resource. You're going to add value to them that first day. And again, you're sending 25 emails. Remember, you're increasing by 5 every time. Day 17, you're going to be basically introducing a light promotion, a soft touch. Maybe it's a discount code. Maybe it's an exclusive offer to a product, early access. It's something very light. You're not going to be super promotional heavy. It's just like, hey, I just wanted to introduce you to this product. They've engaged with you. They know who you are. They're kind of sold on you as a personality or as a company. Now they're ready to purchase. The fourth week of this campaign is the transition to a regular campaign. You're going to send an email summarizing the values, everything that they've learned from you so far. You're going to set the stage for regular content. So inform them that, we send out a weekly post. We have a podcast that's every week. Check us out on this platform at this time and yada, yada, yada. Okay, that final email in this warm-up campaign is going to be a transition to your regular weekly newsletter. So the second email is like, okay, welcome to the newsletter. Maybe you're linking to a few blog posts or you're talking about the newsletter already went out. Maybe you're discussing some promotional emails. It could be anything. And then finally at week 5, they're in that newsletter campaign. So they're getting consistent emails in a newsletter weekly or by whatever the cadence of that newsletter is. They are now pushed out of this warm-up campaign and are pushed into another campaign that is more permanent. Be sure to be patient when it comes to setting up your email campaigns and making sure to gradually increase your audience and making sure to add value within each email and within each week following those parameters. All right. So now that you know what a warm-up email is, you know what a warm-up campaign is, you have an idea of how the timeline fits. Now let's see how you're doing. Is this working for you? What are some ways that you can check to make sure that you're on track, you're meeting your key performance indicators? At the end of this campaign, you can test to see how well it went, where things sort of fell off, why they fell off, because you're tracking all of these items. So I'm going to go through 6 different points of measurement here when it comes to the KPIs. The first one is open rate. How many people have opened the email? You want to make sure that they are opening it. That's something that you can check for. And I have ideal goals on the right hand side. Obviously, depending on how your team is, depending on a lot of other parameters that I just don't know about, take this as a grain of salt. It really should be unique to your system and your client base and how things are set up. Not all of these things are going to be tracked. It's definitely comes with a learning experience, and you want to take it one step at a time. If you can't get 20%, be flexible with these parameters. The point is to set them and to aim toward that and to make sure that you're checking against that. So don't be dead set on these specific goals. Again, tailor them to your own company. So you want to check the click-through rate. Let's just say you have a really, really long email. At what point are people dropping off? At what point, how much do they have to scroll to get to the information they're actually going to be clicking on? What is the click-through rate? Engagement rate. So this measures about how many people have forwarded the email, how many people have clicked on certain things, how many people have replied. This is really determining how much engagement is happening. And then we have unsubscribe rate. We hate to see people go, and we want to always be compliant, and sometimes that happens. So the goal here that I have is keeping it at 0.5%. Honestly, want to aim towards 0. We don't want any unsubscribes. And then we want to be compliant with spam rate. So how many people are sending your emails to spam? And again, you're going to avoid this as much as possible, because you're going to send out an email thanking people for joining your subscription list and giving them a brief message about what they'll be getting. You're going to validating that they actually meant to sign up for this, and if they didn't, there's a point where they can unsubscribe. And then once they confirm, yes, I have signed up for this, I want this information, that's when we're going to push them into the warm-up email campaign, and then finally to whatever newsletter or whatever other email campaign that they have that you've set up for them. And then finally, bounce rate. Again, that point I made of double validation. If you're emailing them confirming hey, this is the correct email, we should not get bounce rates. We want to keep that rate below 2%. Again, all of these KPIs are really to check and make sure that you are on track to be successful when it comes to email campaigning. And in particular, in this case, we're talking about warm-up emails. And again, you're setting a strong foundation for your future email campaigns and marketing efforts. You really want to do it the right way. If there is one, you want to make sure that you are doing it right and you're doing it well. So I've created a checklist here for you when it comes to warm-up emails and that campaign. So I'm going to go through that with you all and basically making sure that you're ready. I've split this into 2 different sections. We have the front end, which is the user-facing components of this email campaign, and then we have the back end, which are the technical components of this email campaign. And again, this is a checklist for you to make sure that you have everything covered. Number 1 is make sure you have your subscriber list together. If you can, or if you have, just making sure you're doing that double verification to make sure that the people that you are sending these emails to, they are subscribed, they are going to interact with your content, they're easily not going to be unsubscribing. You want to make sure for this warm-up campaign in particular, it's imperative that these people sort of want to be emailed. They're going to make sure that the content of these emails are created. And as you've seen in that timeline, you need to create 8 just for the warm-up campaign, and I would say an additional 2 for the newsletter or whatever the post campaign will be. So in this arsenal, you need to have content that is together for 10 unique emails. Then you're going to work on email design, making sure that your emails are designed in a way that makes sense for your users, for your brand. Make sure it's on brand. And again, I have a free ebook. I really go through the basics of email marketing. There we talk about content in depth. We talk about email design. I show examples, real world examples. I talk about call to actions and all that good stuff. So be sure to download it. So you also want to make sure that you have your call to actions. So basically, actually check out the ebook. Check out the ebook because I go through all of those details there. And then you want to have your landing page or your resources. So at the end of the day, what is it that you want to do? What is the end goal? And you make sure that that end goal is designed accordingly. And then for the back end perspective, you want to make sure that you have an email service provider set up, that it's verified, because that plays an important role in how these emails are delivered and in what buckets they go to. You want to make sure that your list, you have list segmentation. I mean, it's important to have your list segmentation as well. Automation workflow. So basically, depending on what the users select in that email, you want to have automation embedded into this so that they are automatically pushed to a certain campaign or a certain way. Just making sure automation works for you, not against you. And then you want to make sure that the analytics and tracking, so making sure those KPIs are put in place, making sure that you are actually accounting for when buttons are being clicked and when they're not being clicked and whatnot. And you want to make sure that you are compliant and you're following best practices, remembering things such as keeping the unsubscribe link within your email and having it be visible for the user. A/B testing is extremely important. For example, starting off with one email, but you maybe have two different subject lines. So you're going to be testing this subject line on this segmentation of users, and then you're going to be testing the other subject line on a different set of users. Performance monitoring. You're always going to be improving. So basically, within that email campaign, maybe you're checking out from week to week what happened, what went wrong, how can you improve upon it, or any changes that you need to make. You're just always going to be monitoring the performance. And then finally, you always want to have a backup plan and a contingency plan in case something goes wrong. So it's always important to really think these things through, plan ahead of time. You don't want to rush it through, and make sure that there is a contingency for when things fail, because this is technology. Human design, we're designed to flaw. Our thinking is flawed, and we always want to make sure that we're accounting for that human error. This is pretty much it. You all have sat through. You are ready to get started on your next email campaign, in particular your warm-up email campaign. I'm so excited for you for jumping on and getting started with this. As always, you can always reach out to us and our services, because I know this can be overwhelming. We offer this service for you, from getting started with an email service provider. We offer our CRM service to help you with getting your email campaign set up, adding your users into an email, making sure that they are subscribed, using that double validation, and also getting your warm-up email campaign set up. And we do offer email services. So we offer from start to finish, among other services. Check out our website at pbiconsults.com. Just about any and everything. As I mentioned a couple times throughout this video, we offer a free ebook called The Ultimate Guide, Highly Effective Email Marketing for Small Businesses. This really goes over sort of the basics of what email marketing is, why it's important. We go over several different types of emails, the actual breakdown of an email, from the subject line to the pre-header to the call to action to all of the pieces and parts that really make up an email. We have actual live email examples to look at, everything, and it's free. So visit this website here or scan a QR code to get your free copy. I want to thank you. Thank you so much for joining and listening in on this talk. Again, you can reach us at bbiconsults.com. We offer a free 15-minute consultation.